claim to have launched cyber war against Estonia. They recognize the power of the web to connect and collaborate. For many, this is a very positive development. Web guru Stephen Johnson believes ultimately collaboration, a kind of pooling of intelligence allowed by the web, has always been a key driver of human progress.
One of the things about ideas that's so interesting is we have this myth that they come to people in a kind of eureka moment where somebody's sitting in their study and suddenly they think, aha, I understand gravity, or I understand how to build a nuclear reactor. But in fact, what tends to happen much more than we realize is that ideas are much more collaborative. If you look at the history of invention, what you find is that inventions are dramatically disproportionately centered in urban areas. One of the great things about cities is they're filled with these public spaces like a coffee shop where people come together who might have some shared interests but come from different backgrounds. They work for different companies, or they are artists meeting writers or filmmakers. And in that kind of point of convergence, they sit around and they talk and they share ideas, and it becomes a kind of connective space. So the web is, in some sense, this kind of virtual version of what cities have historically done. You have people connected in a way that was never possible before, and part of it is this basic kind of principle built into the architecture of the web. The web is, at its core, a platform for linking things.
When you look at a city with its teeming masses of people, each of whom have their own dreams, desires, and expectations, it shouldn't work, but it does. So could it be that the essence of what makes a city truly great, the gossip, the connections, the serendipity, could also work on the web?
I believe that at best, the web can be like an exciting, innovative metropolis that eventually could benefit the younger generations. Earlier, we saw that some people view South Korea, the most wired nation on Earth, as a nightmarish vision of web addiction. But along with the downsides come hidden benefits. As young South Koreans grow up in their supercharged digital world, they regularly top the world's education league tables.
그냥 표현으로 지금 표현만 다 나와. 그러니까 우리가 지금 궁금한 거는 뭐야? 뭐를 낳는? 새끼를 낳는?
I'm meeting the president of the Korean National Information Society Agency, who claims that Korean children's advanced achievement is not due only to a great education system, but because from an early age they interact and work together on the web.
Korea is now leading country in terms of mathematics and science and other areas. I think it is influenced by this kind of environment of the high penetration of internet.
This generation is growing up with the web. It's growing up with it as part of their education system. What hopes and what expectations do you have for the world when they grow up?
They will be more intelligent compared with us. So
I look forward to that.
It is more, because they now recognize the importance of communication and helping each other for solving some problem. Collective intelligence is now basic to their instinct. I hope it is helpful for some evolution of mankind in the world.
Every kid starts with an incredible amount of curiosity. Why are some materials strong? Why are some materials weak? Well, I asked that when I was a kid. Nobody could answer. Now, my son will get the answers and want to ask more questions. So I think it's a huge change.
이거는 안구 체조, 우리 눈 체조를 해주는 거래요.
Human civilization as a whole is now witnessing the connection of people everywhere on Earth through this web. in ways that actually do mimic the growth of a human brain. And the analogy is imperfect, but it's also real. We are seeing the emergence of a global brain.
In this series, we've seen how important it is to study the impact of the web on all our lives. The web appears to give us all a voice and to level society. But we've seen that the ongoing cycle of this virtual revolution is also encouraging megabrands that track and trade us, and governments that can spin and spy as never before.
The way in which small groups of elites dominate in cultural, political, and economic terms. It reflects our values, our narcissism, our views, our obsessions.
Even as it opens up extraordinary new possibilities, the web is weighed down by the limits of our imagination, our desire to profit and control. The web holds up a mirror to human nature, the good and the bad. Yet in this film, we've seen the new generation not just reflected in the web, but maybe evolving with it.
My hope is that the web will eventually show us new horizons, liberate humanity, and change human nature for the better.
All this great stuff that's emerging in social media is people trying to find new, interesting ways to communicate, become more efficient, become more engaged, become more informed. And I think it leads ultimately to having more empathy.
The web isn't going to, solve disease, right, or solve poverty, but what it does, it makes it so that people can share information more effectively and know what's going on out there, right? And when people are better informed, then people can make better decisions.
Hopefully social change happens gently. The sort of thing which the internet brings by connecting people is openness and understanding of other people's ideas on a good day. So I hope we have a lot of those good days.
We have the knowledge of the ages gathered for us to browse in our pockets. And if we seriously think that's a bad thing, if we seriously think that's something we should turn our backs on or sniff at, then we really deserve a slapping. This is astounding technology, and we should just take a moment to celebrate the power and the reach that it gives us across time and across ideas and across continents, both past, future, and present, to connect with people.
Perhaps the most amazing thing about this revolution is we've seen all of this profound change in just 20 years. This isn't the end, it's merely the beginning. Don't forget to go online and take part in our web behavior test. With your help, this major experiment will discover the impact the web is having on our brains. As well as fox and hedgehog behavior, we've identified other key web species. What kind of web animal are you? Visit bbc.co.uk/virtual revolution, where you can also follow the links to the Open University for more from those reshaping the web and the world.